So the good people over at Rockpool Publishing have sent us the 2025 Witch's Diary for the Northern Hemisphere. Here are the creators. Let me try to get that glare off. It's very glossy. There's our creators at the bottom. And if you flip it over, you will see the price of it. And you can take a screenshot of the back if you want to. Now, this was sent to us for free for the purposes of doing an honest review. I showed you the 2024 version last year, so I thought it would be cool to show you the 2025 version. It has changed just a bit as far as the color scheme. Last year it was red and black. Now, of course, it's purple and black. So let's get started. My name is QueenAusetHeru, and thank you for joining me for the wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to anyone and everyone who might need a witch's diary too. If you would like to get a reading done, please hit me up on social media. My information is underneath this video. And leave us a positive comment in the comment section. At the very top underneath this video, I will leave a link to where you can get a copy of this if you so choose. Okay? So this is for anyone who identifies as a witch or anyone who is, practicing maybe to be a witch. Doing a year in a day. Some people who are into Wicca will do a year in a day of studying. People like that. Honestly, I feel like anybody could use this, but the information in here is geared towards people who are into craft or learning craft. So even though anybody could use it because it's a diary, it's a date book, anybody can use a date book. But look at the information in here is really going to be most beneficial for those of us who are practitioners. So I'm not going to say it's only for those people. Anybody can pick this up and get something out of it, as you're getting ready to say. But I think that, practitioners will probably get the most out of it. Now, the thing I love the most about this is that beautiful. What I love the most about this is that, as you can see, there's a lot of information. Before we even get to the diary portion, there is so much here. There's moon phases. I'm going to flip through it and show you guys all that you get from this book. Lunar and solar eclipses, all of the full moons and the key words and what's usually done during that full moon. We have the Wheel of the Year, which tells us all of the holidays and holy days, and then explanations for each one and the date of each one. So if you're somebody who's just coming into crafting, these are the kind of things you need to know. When there's a festival, what do I do for the festival? Which moon is it going to be on? Is it going to be in a particular zodiac sign? What planet rules my zodiac sign? So those kind of things, the basic things that most of us learn, and some of us memorize this kind of stuff, and some of us don't. So if you're somebody who hasn't memorized it, or if you're like me and you forget sometimes, here's the goddesses and the moon phases. But if you're like me and you forget sometimes, the information is right there. And you don't have to go to different places to look it up. It's all in one place. Here are the weekdays and what they signify. So as you can see, all of this information here is extremely helpful. Let me see if I can put something underneath this so this can be a little raised up. There we go. I just wanted to make sure you got the best look. Now it tells us the different colors, times to cast which kind of spell. For example, it says here that during the waning crescent moon from 3 a.m. until mid-afternoon is the best time to cast spells. This right here, the colors, this is important because you know which color candle to use if you're doing something, and maybe even which color to wear. If I'm doing a spell, for example, and I have a black candle, that's for things I want to get rid of. And I might wear black during the actual ritual if I'm trying to banish a pest, a person who's trying to harm me or something like that. The Here are the corners, the directions, and trees. Let's say you decided to go out and make your own wand. Depending upon what kind of tree you find. For example, if you found a willow tree, that would be a good wand for magic, healing, protection, and enchantments, and it would represent water. If you found oak, that's also good for healing, but also strength and longevity. So if you're trying to find, the elder wand, if you're trying to do love and prosperity. So you see, it just helps you and gives you all that information before it even starts the diary. So here's the actual diary. So the actual diary, this part is cool too, because every month has a different goddess, and they tell us if she's a maiden, a mother, or a crone. And then the month has information about that month, what it's good for, what you can use the magic for. I really enjoy the artwork. The artwork in here is beautiful, and it's all in black and white. So it's kind of cool because anybody can see themselves in the artwork. Here goes some moon magic. Oh, I also love that they have so many poems. There's a lot of poems in here, either to be done with your ritual or just a poem that's explaining things. Oh, let's take a look at this. All right, so now we're into the diary, right? So we're going to take a look at the first day of January and see what it tells us. Between 40,000 to 50,000 executions occurred after witch hunts between 1450 and 1750. That's 300 years of witch hunts. Not all witch hunts were recorded, so an accurate number of executions cannot be arrived at. So remember when they said in the very beginning they were honoring those pioneers? So people right like down here, take a look. Pioneers. High priestesses, witches, people who came out of the broom closet and helped us all, gave information, started orders. And the really crazy part about, if you read up on the burning times, most of the people who were executed or even accused were not really witches. That's the crazy part. Some of them were healers. Some of them did do like folk healing. Some of them were midwives. Some of them were just strange people that other people didn't like. Some of them were completely innocent. And let's say, for example, you wanted my wife. So you accused me of witchcraft. They kill me. They take my stuff. You got my wife. So a lot of it was political. And we're coming to find, the more people do. I haven't heard of one person who was actually doing witchcraft who got executed during the burning times. And the burning times happened in Europe, and they also happened in the United States. Oh, I wanted to show this to you. This looks like a spell. Yeah, it's a New Year's spell. So anybody who's interested in a New Year's spell, here's one right here. So as you can see, there's a lot of information in here. There's spells in here. There's goddesses. There's everything. Everything that you would need if you're somebody who is learning or somebody who's practicing. Now, another thing I did not point out, and I should have pointed out, is that the moon phases. Let me see. The moon phases are in here. See this one right here? First quarter moon. Janet Horn was the last woman in the United Kingdom to be legally executed for practicing witchcraft in 1727. So we have a little historical fact, and we're told that it's the first quarter moon. So for those of us who are using the moons for our magic, the first quarter's moon is in here, the full moon, the new moon. I saw them go through all the moon phases. So if you're somebody who works with the moon phases, that is helpful to you because that means you don't have to calculate it yourself. Now I know nowadays some people use an app, some people use all kinds of different things online, almanacs, all kinds of things. But this is just another resource, and there's so much information in it. By the time you finish using this diary and reading all the information, you will know a lot more about craft. And look at this. This is interesting. Hold up. Let me try to zoom in on this. Full moon. To date, more than 15,000 children from the ages of newborn to 2 have been abandoned and branded as witches and left to die on the streets of Nigeria. So it goes to different places. It's not just in one country, too. This is international. Outdated religious beliefs that children are evil and possessed by bad spirits are the cause of this atrocity, which is still happening today. Oh, that's awful. I've heard about that, but I haven't heard it for a long time, so I didn't know it was still going on. Wow. So this is talking about Rome. It's talking about Dionysus. Let me see. I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to make it focus. There we go. More than 5,000 members of the, what is that? Bacchus cult were executed between 182 and 184 BCE by the Roman Senate for practicing witchcraft at the ecstatic rites of Dionysus. Third quarter moon. So see, so there's much more. So we're getting biography. We're getting biography information about people, and we're also hearing all kinds of things that have gone on, atrocities against witches, against people being accused, because them babies. Come on now, them babies ain't witches. Because I mean, yes, you are born. Yes, you are born with your abilities. I agree with that 100%. But you have to be trained. You can't just be born. There we go. You can't just be born with natural abilities and know how to do them. You might know how to do certain things, like you might know how to communicate with spirits, for example. Here go a freedom spell. You might know how to communicate with spirits, for example, but you're going to have to learn how to do candle magic. You're going to have to learn correspondences. Certain things you have to learn, period. Let me see. I just saw an incantation. Beautiful. So we're seeing all these beautiful illustrations. This is awesome. And like I said before, you might know how to communicate with spirits, for example. That might be something that comes natural to you because you don't really need anything to communicate with spirits. But let's say you're somebody who wants to take it further. You're going to need to study color correspondences. You're going to need to study, the stuff that's in the beginning of this book. That's wonderful, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. I could teach volumes on magic and spirituality. So as you guys can see, it continues to go on. We continue getting more information. Lavender. I saw mandrake earlier. So herbs you can use. And they keep giving us these beautiful goddesses too, as you can see. So how do I feel about this? Oh, they go the elements. How do I feel about this book? I really enjoy this book. I really enjoy the information. More witchy facts in the back. Memorials, witches of royalty. So there's lots of information, like I said here, in the front and the back. So I really like it. I really like it a lot. The only thing I don't like about this book is there are no times in this book. Like, what time does the moon become full? What time does the first quarter moon happened. Some books tell you the time, and this one doesn't. So you will know the day, but you won't know the time. And the way that I cast magic, I need to know exactly where it is based on time. So this book hits all the boxes for me. I would say 9 out of 10. That one last box, time. That's the only other thing I would need. So I definitely do recommend this diary to anyone, simply because of the fact, especially anyone who's learning, because there's so much information there. Anybody who's learning or anybody who's, practicing. So if you wanted the times, you can easily look them up because you're going to know the day. And what do I use mine for? Whenever I have a spell to do, I use the book. I look and see the time. I look and see the moon phase, things like that. That's why I said time is important. So I'll look and see the moon phase, and then I'll Google it to see the time. I'll read over the different people's lives, and I might Google it. I sit here and read one page, or one line, I should say, about a person's life. That might encourage me to Google them and read more about them and learn more about the people who've come before us, or the cultures, or the things they choose to do. So that's something that, can lead to further reading and further understanding. So I definitely recommend taking a look at this if you're somebody who is into the things that I talked about. It feels really nice. It's very smooth. It's very smooth on the outside of it. And I especially like the fact that it has this little flap, because I use the flap to keep my page. So I know where I'm at. So I use it for that. I like the little flap. Even if it didn't have that, I could use a bookmark, but I do like that. And in the back part too. So if I want to do it going towards the back, I could fold it over like this. You see? So I really do like it, and I recommend it. And that's the only thing I would say if I was somebody who was working on, the 2026 version, I would say add the time. If they added the time, it's perfect. As it is, it's almost perfect. All right, guys. So if you want to check out this book for yourself, if you want to get it, the link is underneath this video. And you come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.